Welcome to the More You Look podcast. Welcome to the More You Look podcast.
So, what would you say are the, recent movies that are actually banging out there right now? That are killing it?
Banging?
Yep. I know what you're gonna say.
What am I gonna say?
I know. It's what's on everybody's lips already. It's what's already on everybody's lips. I know you're gonna talk about the E34.
Yeah.
The E34, Idris Elba, Regina, I think it's Regina Hall. What's his name? They've got lots of what's this man's name? Oh my god. There's quite a lot of them. Regina King, Jonathan Majors, and like banging western. But it has the feel of it has a little bit of Quentin Tarantino kind of feel to it. Yeah.
I mean, he is like the pioneer of western, in it. So you understand. But for me, I don't know. Maybe because it's the way the movie Nollywood has conditioned my brain. Because of before days, there were no black western movies. So, but one of the things that I got to start thinking when I was watching it was that really we are slaves, really free to.
Let me. I'm glad that you went there. I'm glad that you said that, because you see, the thing is, what people don't understand, because of, we know that the people that are the ones doling out history. If you look at what's going on in America right now, they are actually trying to censor this critical race history, or what do you call it? They don't want history to be taught in schools. And I think there's a kind of block too in this country too, in the UK, where it's not something that is readily being allowed for the real history to be taught in schools, which I think is a problem, because we know that the custodians of history, they are fond of trying to rewrite history or edit history. If you go way back, I mean, think about it. If you look at if they tell you rock and roll music, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? White people music, right? Rock and roll music was originally a black music.
Really?
It was created by black people, yes.
Wow.
Yes. If you look at history, there were black westerns, black cowboys from way back.
I know about Indians.
Yeah.
Indians, cowboys. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure about blacks.
I mean, I was reading something. I came across something online recently, so I just did a little bit of research on it. And apparently, there used to be a time where black people used to be king and queens, and white people served under them. I mean, I don't want to go too deep into the race thing, but believe me, there was a time where there were black cowboys all over the place, mostly in America, and that was where, I don't know if you know that the storyline of the E34, yes, they made it into a movie. They will embellish it a little bit, put a bit of fiction into it just to make it for dramatic effects and stuff like that. But what you need to understand is those people were real, those characters, they were real.
They said it was actual characters.
Yeah, they were real. So yeah, for me, I watched that film. I saw it twice, and the only thing I could think of is that we need more black westerns. I mean, you can't watch that movie as a black person and not want to see more of stuff like that. I mean,
it's good. The acting, the cast.
Yeah, and another thing I like about that movie is that it's not too predictable.
Yeah,
which is the problem I always have with most films.
That ending, I kind of suspected a bit, but I never thought.
You get that feeling, but you just can't put your finger on it. That I'm sure they are brothers. It wasn't until it sort of started, because if you think of how they built Idris Elba's character in the movie, and he's not fighting back. It's supposed to be the best shot. Yeah. I mean, he's the leader of the gang of the pussy. Exactly. So why is he not shooting this guy? That was when I started, the nickel started dropping. It started sinking in that. Wow.
Quick question.
Yeah.
This guy, the guy that talks too much, that was
that guy. Yeah.
And
Cherokee.
Cherokee Bill. Who do you think was going to win that?
To be fair, I think it was Cherokee Bill. Yeah, the way they built the other guy from the start is a very good draw. But I mean, think about it.
Much, yeah.
The girl, what's her name? Koff, or what's her name? Oh my god. That other girl that eventually, I don't want to drop spoilers. The other girl too the other young lady that went to rob the bank.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
With Nat Love. I've forgotten her name now.
Nat Love's girlfriend, you mean?
No. The other smallish.
Oh, yeah, the one that was
I want to remember her name, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
She is even a better gun draw than the other guy that died.
No. She said, you know, when he killed Cherokee.
Yeah.
Well, when she shot.
Just so you know, spoilers everywhere. Just keep this if you don't want to hear spoilers.
When she shot Cherokee Bill, she said that guy is faster.
That was what she said. She said it based off of emotions though. Because in the beginning of the movie, when the guy was claiming to be fast, the girl told him that, man, even I'm faster than you. Go back, I've said it twice.
Yeah,
she told him that, shut up, I'm faster than you, I'm a faster draw. But to be honest, amazing film, amazing cinematography. It just blew me away. It blew me away. The casting, the acting, the production, the soundtrack.
Who was it? Yeah, the soundtrack. Oh my god. Did you hear that?
The soundtrack, yeah.
You know, Afrobeat, proper Afrobeat.
The soundtrack was just...
Okay, which cast was it for you?
Well, for me, it was basically everyone. Everyone killed their role. Regina King is a badass.
Who would it? I didn't exactly feel...
What?
No. See, Femi, she did well. Don't get me wrong.
Regina King was a badass.
For me, the person that I liked the most was that
Cherokee.
No,
which one?
The guy that talks too much.
Okay, the guy that
brought some life into the movie.
It was comedic. It was comedic.
Yeah. So he made all the serious undertone.
Yeah.
Kind of quenched it.
I think, to be honest, all he wanted was, for him, all his life, he had heard of Cherokee Bill, the fastest gun draw in the West. So for him, his whole storyline was built towards having a face-off with Cherokee Bill. So when he eventually met him, the only thing he wanted was to see who was the fastest. Because if you notice, with westerns, with cowboy stuff, what's her name again?
Kate Williams.
No, I'm talking
about
a character.
Yeah, it's Kate. Our real name is Daniel Dead White.
Yeah, but man, that all round. It's not because it's black, centered, storyline, but all in all, amazing movie. Deserves a round of applause.
Costume, man.
Deserves a round of applause.
But I'm not sure I like Nat Love himself. I think sometimes his specials, this thing.
His acting, yeah?
Yeah, in the look. Sometimes the way he does his look, even when he's pissed, he doesn't look badass enough. But it kind of works with that kind of movie because most people, I'm sure anybody that was watching that movie will be looking at Idris Elba, how is he going to perform?
Yeah, macho.
This guy was like an underdog. And that is also seeking revenge. You understand?
Yeah, but his entire life was based on avenging his parents' death. So you can't blame him for not having different kind of facial expressions. You get what I mean? So yeah, moving on. Another movie people are talking about is Army of Thieves. Yeah. You can find these movies on Netflix, by the way.
You know the funniest thing? When I saw the trailer, I was like,
it seems a bit generic.
I didn't see any big name.
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, I get what you mean. A-listers and stuff.
Name. You understand? A-list name. I didn't see.
But the black girl was in. She was in Game of Thrones.
I think she still be.
Okay.
What was her role in? This is her first.
Yeah, like main.
That's true. So you understand that guy too, the vault opener. This is like his first main.
Kind of. Yeah. I get what you mean. But I don't know if people understand. If people know that Army of Thieves is actually a prequel to Army of the Dead.
When I watched the ending.
Remember Army of the Dead that had Dave Bautista and Ghost from Power.
The one ending, I was like, okay, that means there's gonna be a part 2. But I didn't know that.
They purposely put that ending to remind you people, because the truth is, so many people didn't even remember. Because when I started watching it, I thought, wait, I know this guy from somewhere, the safe cracker. I'm like,
exactly.
This guy was in another film where he was cracking safe. Then I put two and two together. I said, well, okay. It was in Army of the Dead with Dave Bautista where they were recruited to go crack a safe, get some money in a zombie infested, And then I realized that, Army of Thieves was like what happened before Army of Thieves. It was a prequel to it.
Yeah,
good storyline.
I kept wondering during the movie, that's the Army of Thieves. I kept wondering why they were introducing zombie to it. It was until the ending.
That you understood that it was happening in real time. Exactly. It was happening in real time. Good movie. For me, what I liked about it was simple, straightforward, predictable, not too many twists and turns. Just a good movie that you could sit, when it's raining outside with our usual shitty UK weather, and you can just sit and just enjoy with your copper and your family, and without kids and stuff like that. Have you seen Amina, Queen Amina? Netflix. It's a Nigerian movie. It's a Nigerian movie about the history of Queen Amina when she was alive. I'm sorry, people have blasted it online.
Really?
So I thought, because the thing with me is, when I hear people critiquing like a project, I like to sort of experience it myself and give my own take on it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, trash. The acting for me, 1/10. Production is great.
I was gonna add it to my list.
No. The production is great, but the acting was woeful, man. The acting was just Clarence Chukura, I think Clarence Chukura was in that movie.
She was.
But the acting, Sky. Go watch it and tell me what you think. The acting was just, I'm sorry.
If you don't like it, then definitely.
The acting wasn't much.
Nigerian movies, anyways.
No. The acting wasn't much for me.
The series that I don't know if you ever watched Startup.
Oh yeah, I have that queued up. It's on Netflix too, isn't it? Have you seen?
Season is out.
Another movie that I watched recently with my wife actually a few days ago was Mark Wahlberg. He has this new movie on Amazon Prime called Infinite. I think it's Infinite or something. Mark Wahlberg.
I've seen it too.
Good storyline, but you watch it and you think, I've seen this before. Kind of. If you've seen what's this guy? The guy that does all the Mission Impossible movies. What's his name? If you've seen Tom Cruise in Living Dead, or what's the in The Mummy. Tom Cruise was in one of the Mummy versions. This Mark Wahlberg's film is basically along those lines where it really didn't hit home for me. I would want to give it sort of a 5.5/10, sort of, but we are gearing up to what I wanted to talk to you about.
You need to watch Startup.
Oh really? I've got it queued up. I've just not had the time. I'll give it.
It's a big mid-pace. It's not action. Anything. It's all about tech, big tech, and how people raise funds and all that. These days, I kind of like it, but I like it because of the Asian mix. Asian, Haiti, the Haiti background that they infused into it. It kind of exposed us into what the Asian culture is like. I kind of like it. Then what about Dynasty?
Oh, Dynasty. I'm watching that. My wife is the one watching that one.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not down for that one.
You need to watch
I'm not down for that one. See,
why? You don't like this kind of
there's it just doesn't do it for me. The old school Dynasty, I really enjoy that one. But this one just doesn't really do it for me. Now,
I love it. Yeah, go on.
Halloween passed. Halloween came and went. And one thing that I wanted to do, because I was very unwell during that period and I had a few days off. So what I did was I went online and I decided to watch all the Halloween movies with Michael Myers. I watched everything from start to finish. I had the time, you see. So I saw all of the versions of Halloween. And I have to say, probably pound for pound is up there with some of the best slasher movies for me. But that's not what I'm coming to. As I was watching this stuff, you start this guy, Michael Myers, he won't die. They burnt him They set him on fire. He didn't die. They hit him with car multiple times. He didn't die. They shot him from very tall heights. He fell from a tall height, from a tall building, all the way to the floor multiple times. Didn't die. Sky, they shot this guy in the eyes. Blood was coming out like this. He did not die, you know.
And he did not get blind.
He didn't die. They locked him in a room and put explosive in there.
He came out.
This guy did not die. You know? And it got me thinking that, hold on a minute. Is this character not one of the most underrated characters in the history of, you know, fiction and stuff? Because if you think about it, it got me thinking of characters like Luke Cage, like Iron Fist, the Iron Fist guy in the, you know, there was Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, exactly.
Yeah, if you think of all of them, Daredevil, even Spider-Man, Jackie Chan, think of any name. You can't tell me Michael Myers will stand toe to toe with any of these guys now. And I mentioned Batman. I said, look, it will even give Batman a run for his money as far as superheroes go. You know what somebody said to me? Somebody said, put some respect on Batman's name. I said, guy, will you chill? Batman is just a rich guy that buys toys and harasses people with mental health problems. So please, explain to me how IRS alone can just shut down Batman's operations. If the freeze is out there, everything is shut down, yeah? No going forward, nothing.
Yeah, but it builds some skills around the way. So.
My guy, you cannot stab somebody to death. You can't shoot him to death. No. You cannot explode him to death. You cannot throw him from tall building. You cannot burn him.
So what's superhero?
No, Superman will kill him now. I'm not talking of A-listers like those extraterrestrials.
If he's gone through all those things and didn't die, how exactly?
I don't understand.
Okay, anyway, the only clue that
Michael Myers will stand toe to toe with anybody. Man, don't piss me off.
So eventually, how did they get rid of him?
He's not dead. Another movie is coming out next year.
Alright, anyway, the only idea that I have.
Another Halloween movie is coming out next year.
The only idea that I have is this. Maybe unless the pieces his body.
That's what I thought. And then separate it.
Bury it.
This guy will just. I'm telling you. I saw up to like 9 versions of Halloween. I thought the one they released this year, Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
The whole community came together and thought we've had enough. This guy has terrorized this community for over 40 years. It's time for him to die. Let's all pull resources together. People had guns, knives, cutlass, machetes, and all that stuff.
I wouldn't even live in that community.
That was what I thought. He has terrorized you guys for years, and you are still there. Michael Myers cannot exist in African communities. He will show up one day and the whole time will be empty. Empty. Fam. Empty. So you guys, if you're listening, if you're watching, if you think of, you know, any superhero, I'm not talking of the A-listers like Superman and all those guys that are actually extraterrestrials themselves. If you think of any, you know, worldly superhero, like I'm talking of like the Daredevils and Luke Cage and like all those guys that can actually toe to toe, if they went against each other, that can actually defeat Michael Myers. You get? Let us know and let us know who your choice is.
Here's a good question for the directors, you know.
Yeah.
Why have we not seen any superhero movie, you know, that is themed around Halloween?
That is what it is.
If they are saying
that's what the Michael Myers franchise is about.
But he's not a superhero.
Michael Myers? No, he's not a superhero, but character-wise,
yeah, I know.
You can't die.
Michael Myers is about Halloween. What I'm saying is that why have we not seen a Superman movie that is themed around Halloween?
Yeah, because Superman is generally like a superhero for all.
So it takes holidays when there is Halloween.
Good question. But let me counteract that with my own question. Do you know what I've always thought of is, why is this Superman has never been to Africa?
Yeah, exactly.
He's supposed to be savior of the world, isn't it? All these superheroes, don't they go to Africa? Yeah, that's why I like what Marvel did. Marvel with all the Avengers. You know, they went to Lagos.
Yeah.
They went to, because I've always thought, why is it that I have seen almost all superhero movies, I have not once. Do they not fly over African waters or?
Oh, they're just like, oh, I like it cold. I don't like it.
That could be it, you know. That could be it, you know. That could be it, you know. You know, I was going through the
But seriously, anyways, I'd like to see a superhero movie, even Spider-Man. Let it come out on Halloween day, like before Halloween, so that.
To be fair, I think there's something like that. We just don't know.
Sure?
Most of them they do Christmas. They do like Christmas storyline, but I don't think there will be Halloween though.
Anyways, Halloween is just one day.
I mean, the Joker. Did the
and-
Joker not do Halloween? Was that not why it was, the Joker?
Really? Joker is Batman, isn't it?
No, Joker.
Yeah.
The Joker, the comedy
I've
guy.
not
The
seen
guy that
it.
was laughing every time. That used to laugh.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but who was the main actor?
Oh my god. I'm looking at his face now, but I can't. That name is just.
No, I mean, who was the superhero that was fighting?
It wasn't a superhero movie. They're just talking about how he became the Joker. What happened? What pushed him to become like that? Yeah. So, moving on.
I need to see that movie.
There are loads of movies
It's not on
now.
Netflix, is it?
I think it is.
When it
It's
came
somewhere
out-
online.
it came out
It's somewhere on
last
all
year,
those
innit?
one of those platforms. Yeah, you can watch it on one
But
of
did
those.
you see Gotham though? The one on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I've seen all that. I've seen the series. Yeah, there's a shitload of stuff yet to see. I'm yet to see, to be honest. Moving forward, on to positive stuff. There's this this little lady, Nigerian software, developing teenager. Her name is Tomi Singh Ogunobi. I was amazed when I read that she beat close to 50,000. She actually beat 49,900 prodigies in 170 countries, to emerge one of the 100 global winners in a $1 billion Rise initiative. So this young lady now apparently will get lifetime benefits of scholarships, mentorship, funding, and career development. I mean, as a teenager,
You don't get that.
to have that focus and determination to actually achieve a feat like that, my guy, is what applause. Is what applause. I like it when I see people come from almost nothing and then maintain this focus to achieve something great in life. We celebrate you, Tommy Singh. You know something that stays on my mind recently? The fact that right now, in this time that we are right now, there are teenagers out there that are actually making money. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of pounds and dollars in foreign currency,
so much
from cryptocurrency,
right now.
from NFT flipping, non-fungible token, or what do they call it. I'm just sitting here like, what am I doing with my life? How can I not learn? Let's learn this thing. Let's make money now, Sky. Let's get into NFT. See, multiple streams of income is the only thing that can save you now.
I've been saying that in the last 4 or 5 years now. I wish I knew that when I was 18, and I wish
No, but you did though. Let's be honest with ourselves. When we were in school,
but I didn't take it like Now it's a bit difficult when you're trying to raise.
Oh yeah. It gets more difficult because that time and space is not there. But people still try to. You can still scrape it together. It won't be like it, but it's hard though. I get what you mean. Especially when you live in a country where you don't have family support. You have to be the what do you call it, primary carer for your children, which is what it's meant to be. But the thing is, if we were back home, it is always easy to find somebody that will look after the kids, do the school run, just to give you time to focus on other avenues that can bring in extra income for your family and stuff like that. I get what you mean. But fam, there is money out there to be made. These kids are making money.
Yeah.
I mean, look at with music now. You can sit in your house, record music, put it online without anything. You don't need anybody.
You don't need a record label.
You don't need any middleman. You can do everything and just put it online like that. And if you are lucky, you could strike gold. You get, so I don't know.
To blow, you don't need a record.
Yeah,
label,
you just need a hot record.
When you're big, it might still be advisable to.
Yeah, you need them to help you
because you need a team.
broaden your horizon.
Yeah, you need a team
And give you that guide.
eventually
Yeah,
to
that
manage.
guidance. Yeah.
It's not easy. Look at someone like Wizkid now, for instance, who's done loads of shows in the US and is coming to the UK this month. Imagine if it was just you, managing your calendar.
Yeah. No, you will hire people to do it for you though, even on the independent
Exactly.
circuit.
That's what I said. You need a team eventually, but to blow, you don't need anything. You just need you 100%.
Yeah.
Put your 100% in the game. Anyways,
quick question.
Everybody.
Yeah, man, go out there and get it, man. Not for respect to everybody just trying to, scrape things together, because these are hard times. I'll tell you what. Before I came here to the studio today, I had to buy a fuel into my car, 50 liters. Let me tell you something. I was looking at that number as the number was just scrolling like this, and I was having I was going like I was being traumatized. Like, is fuel this expensive now in England? What's going on? Like, bro, these are hard times. So there's no money anywhere, please.
There's one thing that I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
So before what's it called? Before the fuel scarcity, I heard that part of the reason why there was scarcity, also was because before we used E5 petrol, and now the government has said, by September 2021, that it had to be E10. Okay. Now there's something I've noticed. Fueling my own vehicle. Before, normally my vehicle, I would fill it up with about 88, going to 99 pounds. Going to 93 pounds.
From scratch.
For a full tank.
From scratch.
Yeah. And that will last me a little longer, than it is now. Now, to fill my car right now, 99 pounds on the dot.
Ooh.
And that's
it will still be less, and it still won't last as long as it used to.
That's because slightly before I would buy at maybe 131 point something, but now it's 143. So I can understand why it's 99. But what I don't understand is it doesn't last me as long as the E5 petrol. Have you noticed anything like that?
To be honest,
and I use diesel though. But
yeah, because I don't travel.
Never noticed anything like that.
I don't travel as much as you do. You see?
I have noticed.
So yeah, I've not really paid much attention to stuff like that.
Normally, when I walk over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, I average about maybe like 600 miles or 700 miles for those 2 days, and I'll still be at 3/4 tank. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm at half a tank, less than half a tank.
So you're spending more on fuel.
Yeah, with this E10, I don't think they said it's good for the environment. For pollution, it's good for the environment and all that, but it's not as money saving as.
Well, to save the environment, we have to spend money, isn't it?
We have to spend more. I don't buy that idea. There should be a way.
To save the environment, we have to spend money. That's what they are telling us. Welcome to the More You Look podcast.
Yeah.
My name is Femi. This is Sky.
You know what it is. Thanks for all your support, for tuning in, for subscribing. I think we have more than 190 something subscribers.
You know what? See, we started this thing as a joke. I just wanted to, have a situation where we sit down and just chit chat on our off days from work. But here we are. We're getting thousands. We have over 3,000 people, watching our videos. Yeah. We have over 190 something subscribers. So I'm thinking, if we have 2,000 people watching us and we have 197 people subscribed, what that tells me is we need more subscribers. Don't just watch it. Don't just click the watch link. Subscribe so you can get notifications whenever we post videos and stuff like that. Okay? We appreciate your support. It was the first time you realized just how rich, how wealthy rich people around you are. Let me reframe it properly so you can get the full picture. When you just go about your life, your day to day, just doing you and just being yourself and all that stuff. Like way back when we were both in Nigeria and we were in uni, where some of us would leave uni and go back to our very tiny flats in the middle of the slum somewhere, or we were considered lower class because there's nothing like middle class in Nigeria. Let's be honest. You have the little looters and the very rich up there, and then you have there's no middle class in Nigeria anymore. Where are they? Where are they?
Now, but there's still middle class.
Where? For where?
No, if you can. Okay, let me put it this way, Femi. If you have a roof over your head, a decent roof over your head, you can afford breakfast. You can afford to send your.
That's not how they know. School. That's not how they know who middle class is.
How do you know?
Let me tell you. There are lower class people that can still fit that bill.
Yeah, but okay, so who will now be the lower class? The people who don't have a decent
roof over
their head.
The upper class of any society, like the UK now, the upper class. When you say upper class, you are talking of the twats like Jacob Rees-Mogg or what's his name, all those guys that went to Eton College, all those people that own properties, all those people that own properties worth millions on Kensington and all those places. Those are the upper class. Now the middle class in this country, and if you don't know, the middle class too is slowly but sure, in 40 years time there will be no middle class in this country again. If we continue on this, road, hear me out. Middle class, as far as UK goes, excuse me, are people who have their mortgages, okay, who are still paying their mortgages. They have 1 or 2 cars in the family being paid off or bought second hand or whatever. They have kids in school and all that stuff. Middle class, they don't have to worry about where the next meal comes from. Dad is working. Dad is working. Mom has a job. Now the lower class, you will probably find one member of that family, either the dad or the mom or both of them, on benefits. Okay. Now we are not talking about why they are on benefits or how they got there, but they are on benefits. Okay. And when you're on benefits, your life is limited. You can't just say, oh, let's take all the 4 kids to jump and jack or whatever, because you're thinking of, we don't have that spare money to do that. You cannot maintain a car. You cannot maintain 2 cars, surely. You get what I mean? So now, once you have to start thinking of where your next meal will come from, I mean, think about it. They only deducted £20 from universal credit, and look at the effects it's going to have on thousands of people on benefits. So those are the lower class. You have a couple that is not on benefits, but dad has to work 2 jobs, mom has to work 2 jobs, just so they can get the bills paid, they can get fuel in the car to do school run. And man, don't deceive yourself. You are lower class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You are lower class. The middle class are those people who have mortgages, 300k, 400k, 500k mortgage. They have 1 or 2 cars in the family. They don't have to worry about where the food is. They always have money to buy food in the house and stuff like that. That is in first world societies. Now, why I said in 40, 50 years time, the middle class in this country too will slowly but surely melt and fade away into the lower class. Because if you think about it, those middle class now, okay, that have enough to pay mortgage, to afford 2 cars in the family, to take kids on 1 holiday a year and stuff like that, they are slowly but surely stressing out too. Inflation is coming in. COVID fucked a lot of people up. So you see, those people now too are having situations where they are beginning to check their finances carefully. And once you have to always go into your finance every 2 seconds to check if, am I in red? How is my overdraft? Fam, you are lower class, you don't deceive yourself. Now with Nigeria, when you talk about upper class, you have the politicians, you have the looters, you have businessmen who are multi-millionaires, who have done well for themselves. You have families that have that, family money. When they're talking old school money, you get me? Upper class, they have a house, they have a mansion. In Nigeria, we don't have money. Mansion. You have a mansion. Your house is yours. Okay? You don't have to think about, you have probably more than 2 cars in the family. You never have to think about where your food is from. Your kids are probably in private school somewhere. Okay? They probably have their own drivers that have to ferry them to school and back. You get what I mean? Now, if you are talking of lower class in Nigeria, my guy, Nigeria has 2 types of lower class too. Think about it. Nigeria has one level A, upper lower class. In my own opinion, are those people who live in places like semi-slums. If you are talking Yanopaja, Obantoku, all those names that sound like somebody vomiting, if you are talking of Adigbe, all those places where Okokomaiko, all those places where there is no attraction anywhere. Those people who will come out and say, this is my house. They have built 1 3-bedroom flats there. They own their own house. They have well in front of their house. You get me? Yeah. But those people, they don't have car. They too have to struggle to put food on the table. They can't afford to send their kids to private schools. Not every landlord in Nigeria has money. There are people who call themselves landlord, but the house has been there for 300 years. Those are the upper lower class. Now the lower class are the people you will find in Ajegunle. You are getting me? You go to Badagry. People who cannot afford to rent house anywhere, they are working in mainland Lagos, so, but they have to travel 4 hours to Badagry because that's where they can get cheap rent, cheap house. You get me? Don't deceive yourself. You know when you are lower class. I was talking lower class for many years in Nigeria because we live in face me and face you. You get me? So in my opinion, when it comes to Nigerian society, there are two types of lower class. The lower class are those people who you know that they can't even afford to send kids to school. Baba Edosa was a gate man. God bless his soul. He had 11 children. When you are a gate man, you are living in one room with 11 children. How much does a gate man get? You are lower class, my G. You get, so you get where I'm coming from. So my question is, when you're living your life, you know, there's a saying that my mom says that what you don't see, you don't miss.
Yeah.
Those lower class now, they know they are rich people somewhere. Mm-hmm. But you go live in the midst of those people, and what you will find is people just going about life. In just day to day, you find them being happy amongst themselves. That's why people are saying Nigeria are the happiest people on earth. In the midst of suffering, we will be smiling. Which is why the great fella said suffering and smiling.
Exactly.
You get me? So now, when you're probably a what do you call them now, middle class or lower class, and you encountered your very first experience of wealth in another human being, what was your, like this person now on Twitter, Tim Herrera, said his first experience of encountering a wealthy person was when he was in uni, and in his first semester, somebody pointed out another student that was wearing a $4,000 coat, a coat that cost $4,000, and he said his brain literally couldn't even comprehend that one piece of clothing could cost that much, $4,000. For me, it was when I was much younger. I think I must have been in GS1 or 2 then. I was very young, living in Nigeria, and we used to live with my grandma in a place in Lagos called Lawansin.
Yeah,
and if you know Lawansin, smack middle class, where everybody had flats, and we went on holiday to one of our distant relatives like that in my 12. And if you know my 12 in those days, where they had all these big companies where people bought land and built their mansions and stuff. And it was my first time of encountering such, I won't call it, it was like I was dreaming from the gate, when they opened the gate, when the gate man opened the gate like this, and we went into the house. No, in my 12.
No, man, so
I'm talking of, I was in GS1 then. I mean,
before
think about it. Before all the banana islands and all the nonsense came up. If you think about from the gate of this house, yeah? If you stand at the gate, you can't see the house, number one. You have to drive from the gate for like a good 2 to 3 minutes before you get to the main house. So from the gate, they own like all that land, all that beautiful flowers everywhere, and then you get to the house and you see this plush mansion, and I thought to myself, I went into the house, you see, and I thought, hold on a minute, this is the sitting room, very big place. Back in the day, no flat screen, but they had this huge TV, and I thought, wow. And somebody told me, no, that's not the sitting room. That's just the foyer where visitors will sit down before they tell them to go inside. I'm like, as a kid, I was like, what? This is money. Until I then realized that if they wanted to cook stew or something, maybe, they said, what are we eating tonight? Let's have turkey and rice. We went outside, and I went all the way down another road, and they showed me this, like a small poultry. It was for that family alone. They would go in and kill that turkey right there. And then cook it. Yeah, they killed what? I was like, they had goats, pigs, everything in there, and I thought, wow. So this is how some people live. And the owner of that house, he only owned, all he did was he owned a paper factory, that's all. This white A4 paper that you put in your printer. That was the only thing they were manufacturing in that factory. Because you know why? Nigeria back in those days, when you put money, when you invest money in business,
you actually see
that there is no unnecessary, nowadays now, to do business in Nigeria is like hell. they have put so many things in place where you'll be frustrated. By the time they charge you for this, charge you for that, as you are balancing those, other people will just come and say, we are from the department of one thing that you have never heard in your life. You have to pay 200,000 for Kinikon. And this is a country where they don't even have stable electricity. So you understand, back in the day, you invest.
Electricity was even better.
Yeah, but you invest money in a business, you know, all this man had.
It was bad, but not as bad as this.
You get me here. All this man had then was a paper mill factory.
When we come back from secondary school then and primary school, there will be lights from 3:50 when we will see that that light on TV. At 4 o'clock. And there will be light till about 9 o'clock. Then they might take you a little while, then bring it back.
You know, the funny thing was then people were complaining. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But we were complaining mostly in the midst of contentment.
We were not complaining because
people were still saying that petrol is expensive.
Yeah, we were not complaining
kerosene is expensive.
Complaining for decent,
normal, you know,
living standard.
But the light is not there 24 hours.
But you don't get me. Nigeria has always had electricity problem. Nigeria has always had electricity problem, right? But the problem is, if you think of,
I think it started by around 82.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. We've always had it, don't we? We've always had the electricity problem, don't we? But if you think about it, there was a time in Nigeria where you could leave your house in the morning. I mean, the way they used to leave me in school. I can remember days where I would walk from Lawansin all the way to Idiaraba. Because I schooled at one of my schools was Unilag Staff School then. I would walk all the way as a child. It was normal to see kids walking all the way to school with no fear that they are going to get kidnapped and their head chopped up for rituals. You get what I mean? There was nothing like Yahoo Boy back in those days. Nothing like Yahoo Plus. You know? So all the new things that have now been introduced into the Nigerian society as a result of our greed. I mean, just recently, I overheard my wife having a conversation with one of our friends on the phone yesterday. Wait, what's today? Today's Sunday. Saturday was yesterday, yeah. And apparently one of our friends invested some money with some people, with some of... They're all friends though, but the difference is, this my wife's friend lives in the UK, and our friends that she went into business with were in Nigeria to start a poultry and everything. And one person,
of course,
stole everybody.
What do you think?
It was amazing. I just thought you can blame the government all you want, but is anyone talking about what we are? You cannot even trust your own family now.
I met this guy who is from Portugal recently. I picked him up and we were talking. So we somehow I mentioned corruption and all that, and because we were talking about how the culture in Portugal is similar to the culture in some places in Africa. Then he made me know that actually the Portugal was one of the first people to conquer some parts in Nigeria. Then they sold it to the British. I didn't even know that before. You understand? So like the Benin parts, they actually sold it to the British. Then Portugal
that's why you find if you go to places like Portugal, Brazil, some of those South American countries, they speak Yoruba, they speak some of our Nigerian languages there fluently.
Portugal actually conquered Brazil. You understand? So, anyways, fast forward, when we were not talking, and this guy, when I mentioned corruption,
we've segued into something else now. We have to try and draw ourselves back because we are still coming back to this corruption stuff.
When I mentioned corruption, this guy just said, he said the major problem with Africa that he, in his own experience, working as a UN, is the people. You understand that? And let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. Before you blame the people, if you and I, you understand, if we continue the way we are, like you can't even just send your cousin money to one.
They will spend this because at the back of their mind they'll be thinking, my family, what's it going to do to me?
Exactly.
You know, go kill me now.
No conscience, no.
We have become soulless. I mean, think about it. There was a time in this same Nigeria. Let me give you an example. My mom was so sick one time. She had an accident. And I was too young. This was before phones, before mobile phones came to Nigeria. This was
GSM.
before
GSM.
ATM, before ATM machines. None of that. I think I was in primary school then actually. She was so sick, and they rushed her to the hospital. But you know how Nigeria is. If you don't pay, payment up front. If you don't pay, they won't treat you. And our life was really, it was a sort of life and death situation. And a stranger, just somebody that came around the hospital with a group of people to see someone, volunteered, took all my mom's bank details and everything, and got a letter from my mom, and went all the way to her bank to withdraw a large sum of money that he brought to the hospital for her to pay. If he vanished, they won't see him again.
Yeah.
Try that today.
You can't do that anymore.
You get me? So Nigeria wasn't always like that, is what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is Nigeria wasn't always like the way it is now.
Actually, the government started teaching us.
So the government, so people were like, and now we are in a place now where to reverse this is, for me, I think it's almost going to be impossible. Short of us adopting like the North Korean style, where if you get caught stealing, they hack your head off, or Saudi Arabia, where short of us adopting the style of some countries that we still consider backwards and barbaric, where if you steal, if you are corrupt, they kill you. That is the only way we can achieve. Because
let me put corruption in Nigeria in another way again. Why it is going to be very impossible for us to get out of this situation and find ourselves. If we keep having people like Femi Fani-Kayode.
Oh my God! Don't mention that man's name.
Not only Femi Fani-Kayode.
Don't mention that. There are many people like him out there.
As an example,
Nigerian politicians.
This crop of politicians actually have to die. That's the only solution.
As an example, if you have people like that, and even Dele Momodu, people who blame the ruling class only for them tomorrow to be invited and you join that ruling class.
Mm-hmm.
Dele Momodu has gone back to
PDP. That's why they said absolute power corrupts.
Dele Momodu has gone back to PDP.
No, that's why they say power. That is what power does.
That was blaming Buhari and swearing for them.
That is what power.
Said, that he has realized that the only way to
is to work from. They will tell you to work from the inside. This is what they do.
If they are close to power, they can change things.
You get me? So let's go back. Let's go back to where we were before. Somebody said their own experience of wealth, their first experience of wealth was when they were in college, and one of their classmates abandoned a $120,000 car in school. They finished college. When you finish uni, everybody's going home. And this guy abandoned a $120,000 car in school because he didn't want to take a used car home. And she just thought, wow. This is
my own experience when we were graduating in secondary school, Old College. Okay, normally this guy is stupid money. This guy's dad, first of all, to lay background, his dad was the military administrator of Delta State when I was in secondary school and I was finishing. Now, this guy normally will come with at least 2 soldiers, bodyguards, that bring him to school and take him back. But on our graduation day, his dad gave him a special car. Now, this guy, within the course of about maybe 5-6 hours for that graduation party, this guy brought 3 cars to school. The first one that he came with, you understand? In the middle of this thing, he said, let's go back home. I forgot something. We got home, this guy's got the car that his dad gave me, Porsche. That was the first time I ever saw a Porsche, and that was the first time I ever saw a you understand? 1999. The guy, we took that Porsche, brought it to class, showed off, drove it around the school compound. This guy now said, before we finished the game, when we were going for the after party, this guy said we need to go and change the car again. It's not feeling this one.
That's a childish system, but still show of wealth, isn't
it? 3 cars in one day.
There's this Irish man called O'Leary. Now this is another level of wealth. So what happened was, this guy he's a CEO of an airline, okay? And he got fed up of traffic. Every time he tries going to the airport to catch a flight, he was always caught getting there late just because of heavy traffic. You know what this guy did? Just for him alone, yeah? He started a taxi company. Bought taxi, yeah? And do you know the sole purpose of this? So that he can pass, taxi lane, the cab lane. He started his own taxi cab company, and the company is for him alone to carry. He's the only passenger that they will carry because he flies a lot. So that he won't be getting to the airport late, so that I can officially pass taxi lanes without getting any reprimand or anything like that. And I thought, how else is that not a show of wealth, like on a different level, you know? You were talking about corruption. Yes, now register it and off you are gone. Innit? I'm talking about corruption the other time, and I thought this is a good segue because I don't know if you heard of what happened like I think 2 or 3 weeks ago now, where a 22-story building collapsed in Ikoyi in Lagos, Nigeria. And apparently what happened was the guy responsible for constructing that building, that project, the foreigners, this is all information I gathered online, okay? The foreigners he sort of contracted to help with the building. They advised him that, this building can only go for 5 stories, okay? 5-story building. And he sort of sacked them all and apparently got approval from the Lagos State government. Because everybody's now saying, the guy is greedy, Somebody approved. Somebody gave him the approval to continue with that project. And they actually gave him the approval to build 15-story buildings. And this guy went on to build 22-story building. I've seen pictures of the rubble and of the pillars supporting the foundation. And if you see those things, I won't even put a 10-story building on them. And this guy built a 22. Now, this is the problem I have. And this is the issue of corruption and greed that we're talking about. Apparently, this man, okay, actually he gets contracted to build projects like that abroad, even in UK here, and he would never do a substandard job.
Okay, is the guy an engineer?
Yeah, I have seen an interview of him on TV boasting that if they tell him that he's just a contractor, if real engineers tell him to do this, he will just do this. He won't listen to them. He will just do that. Now guess what? He died. He's one of the casualties that died when the building collapsed. And from what I've started reading recently, apparently his family now are already fighting over his riches, over his wealth, over his bank details, cars and stuff like that, over his properties. You know, it is crazy. It's almost as if being in Nigeria, as long as you are rich, you can break every law you want to. And when challenged, the only thing you hear them say is, do you know who I am? Do you know who my father is? You know, stuff like that. And I don't know when we are going to get rid of this mentality. Because it's honestly, have you not heard? It's like that should be our motto. You know, on that coat of arms, where they put unity and something, peace and just put, do you know who I am? No, for real. That should be what it is. That should be our motto as Nigerians, because that is the card we pull out every single time. It's almost as if every law in that country is for the poor. Because once you are rich, you can almost get away with anything. Honestly, you are seeing it as you are browsing.
Yeah, I'm watching the video.
Apparently, dozens of people are dead already, and so many injured. Because some people wanted to do you know that he sold each of the flats, 22-story building, for $1.2 million, and people already paid? I will see how those people will get their money now.
Look at people that are paid as well. Where they get that kind of money. That's crazy.
In Nigeria, you know, in public conglomerates, corporations, looters,
Exactly.
you know, it is crazy. It is crazy. It's crazy. Apparently, only one company. There was a company called Prowess Engineering. That company actually rejected the opportunity to work on that project because they just felt that, look, there's no integrity in building this building beyond 4th floor. But this man did not listen. 22-story building was sick. And you actually, with your full chest, you want people to go into that building and be living there. Something you will not do abroad. Apparently, he gets contracts to build houses abroad. But you will never do that. But you are willing to do it to your own people. Now he's gone. Died in the rubble. You know, you can't hear of these things and not just marvel at how soulless we have become as a people. How insensitive. How heartless we have become as a people. And so many of us bring this attitude and mentality away from Nigeria to take it abroad. So many of us take it abroad. So many deaths. You know, I wanted this episode to be only positive vibes only. We've had fun, we've chatted, you know, we've laughed. But I just feel that, you know, you always have the good and the bad, and we have to also include topics like this. We won't keep you long. You know, we'll have to round up the episode now. Like I said, if you have topics you want us to discuss, drop it in the comment section. Critique us, advise us, continue supporting us. We appreciate your support, and we thank you for being there with us on this journey. And yeah, this is episode what actually 34. You know, until we see you in the next episode, I remain Femi Anthony. This is Shepherd Sky. Take care of yourselves and be kind to one another. Bye.